Hi all, I wanted to show you my first experience with the new Harder&Steenbeck Infinity CR, special Giraldez version. It's promised to be a lot of different than the other Infinity, so I want to try it out. I started with this model of Yoda from Star Wars. Has a nice texture and it's easy. Well, not so easy, but I don't have to choose and think about which colors to use because it's a known figure, so it has specified colors. And this is the first time I use it with paint and of course a bit spider webs, and then I find that the trigger works well much more precise than the other Infinity, which is also working very nice, but this trigger is more sturdy. It gives you more control. It's more easy to only press it down a little bit and pull it back a little bit. I don't know if they use like heavier springs or something, but it works much better. Also, the notch on top of the trigger where you hold your finger, it helps to be more precisely. Also, the trigger is a bit further in front in comparison with the other one, so you're a bit closer to the model, and it works very good. First spray session. As you can see, I'm using very thin layers, and eventually the color gets more visible, and it's fun painting because it's always a surprise that you think there's no paint coming out, but all of a sudden you see, oh, there is paint, there is color on my model. As you can see, I'm only pulling back the trigger a little bit, just for a little bit paint, and that's because the paint is very thin, and you see the result. It starts looking a bit like Yoda. It's a shirt and or dress or whatever it's called, and here I don't see any paint, and I think, what's wrong? And then I remembered, oh, maybe my needle is a bit clogged, and with the new tip, the aiming tip to call it, it's very easy to just clean off the dried paint. Just scrape it a bit with your nail and a blast on the paper, and it's all gone. Next part is the coat, and again I turn the paint a lot, testing on the piece of paper and to see, because well, the dilution is not a science, so one times is a bit more thinner than the other, so you need to test a bit for the paint in the cup, how much pressure you need and how much paint you need. and then I start again a little bit further away to put the base color for the coat. You see in the background the highlight color is shaking. It looks like it's in slow motion, but I think it has to do with the video because it's going very fast. Anyway, you see the results of the first, and because it's like a base color and I want to paint all over the coat with this color, I'm a bit further away with my airbrush for reaching a larger area. Also pulling back the trigger a bit more to get more paint, and putting on the thin layers of the base color, making sure my pre-shading is still visible. I'm now again a bit closer to the model and putting more paint on some spots because, as you know, the more paint you put on, the more layers you put on one spot, the intenser the color will be. And on the some parts where the light will fall, it needs to have more of the base color than in the wrinkles. But I like using this airbrush a lot because I'm using also the other, let's say the normal Infinity and the Evolution airbrushes, and it's for me this one is giving me more control for miniatures. I will not say I will use it for if I build tanks or airplanes, maybe for small details, but if you want to get nice results on smaller areas, then this one is certainly a good option. And of course, if you don't have an airbrush at all, you can also use this, of course, for for planes and tanks, because it, of course, has the changeable needle, and you can change 0.15, 0.2, which is actually now in the airbrush, and 0.4 millimeters. Only there's the big cup, which normally you use with the 0.4, is not possible on this airbrush because the trigger is a bit much to the front than on the other one, so it's not possible to put a big cup there. As you can see, I'm in the process of creating the first highlights, and I must say it's very fun using this airbrush. I don't know why, but it's because of I think the precision you can now use. As this is the first time I use it, I need, of course, get a bit more practice with the exactly the trigger, but I'm not actually, I'm very happy with the first test results, and it's a very different and very, I must say, very good airbrush. For me, the promises in the commercials, and they really make it true. I know I will enjoying much more airbrushing with this airbrush. Here's the first result, and of course I need to do some brush normal brushwork, for shadows and extreme highlights, but it's big thumbs up for this airbrush.